Hello everybody. After a long break, we are meeting like this virtually in Corona times. I hope you all are safe and healthy. I think you are very eager to know about your new syllabus of second year microbiology, paper 301. We know that there are five kingdoms of living organisms: animals, plants, fungi, protists, prokaryotes, and also acellular entities, that is viruses. In this paper, we tried to include all the components one by one. Very firstly, we have discussed about the science which deals with the classification and identification of microorganisms. The second we have taken is prokaryotism. The next is eukaryotism. Then we have taken acellular entities, viruses, and lastly we have discussed about environmental microbiology, which tells us about utilization of microorganisms for the benefit of the environment. And during the discussion of this paper, we will try to have a brief view of all the units altogether. So now let us start.
Let us start with Unit 1, Microbial Diversity. It has several components. First is about biodiversity. Biodiversity is the science which deals with various types of particular biological systems in particular area. The next is microbial taxonomy. Taxonomy is the study of different taxa of microorganisms. The next is classification systems. It is about classification of organisms, taxonomic ranks of microorganisms. Classification of microorganisms is done on the basis of certain taxonomic criteria, on the basis of descending or ascending manner. So, different ranks are given to different taxa of microorganisms. Major characteristics used in taxonomy. There are several characteristics of microorganisms which are very useful in classifying them and identifying them. So, they are used to make the taxonomy of microorganisms. Next is phylogeny. Phylogeny is nothing but it is the uh, particular science of evolution of particular organisms. So, prokaryotic phylogeny, that is evolution of prokaryotic organisms, and phylogenetic groups. Phylogenetic groups of organisms means their interrelationships on the basis of their evolution. And the last is introduction to metagenomics, which include the study of microbes at the base of their genes. This is the set of reference books which are prescribed for Unit 1, Prescott, Atlas and Modi. Unit number 2 is about prokaryotic diversity. You can see very nicely the figure of a bacterial cell which is having just a thread of DNA in the center part of the cell. Then certain other parts of cell are also visible like plasmid, ribosome, cellular membrane, cell wall, other organelles, flagella, etc. These are the microscopic view of certain bacteria. Here four components are there in prokaryotic diversity. Very first it deals with archaea and eubacteria. Archaea and eubacteria are microorganisms which are diversified in the very early stage of the evolution, and they are quite different in their composition and also in their activities. The next is gram negative bacteria. Gram negative and gram positive bacteria are fundamentally different on the basis of their cell wall composition that we know. And in gram negative bacteria, there are several bacteria we have taken, that is aerobic, microaerophilic, motile, helical, and viroid bacteria. Aerobic, that is they require oxygen for their growth. Microaerophilic, they require little amount of air for their growth. Motile, that is with the help of flagella or fimbriae. Then helical, that is they are having shape like tube, and vibroid, that is they are uh, having the shape like vibrio. Then non-motile curved bacteria, they are not having any locomotory device and they are slightly curved. The next is aerobic microaerophilic rods and cocci. So rods as well as cocci, which are aerobic or microaerophilic, are taken in this category. Facultative anaerobic organisms. These organisms are able to grow in the presence as well as in absence of the air. So it includes different rods, curved bacteria, and also helical bacteria. Then dissimilatory sulfate reducers. They are the organisms which are able to reduce sulfates and get the energy out of it. The next is anaerobic cocci. The cocci or spherical bacteria which do not require oxygen for their growth. And the last is phototrophic bacteria. They carry out photosynthesis and produce carbohydrates from carbon dioxide. The next category is gram positive bacteria, and they this category include endospore forming rods and cocci like bacillus. They are producing endospore, the spore located inside the structure of the bacteria. Then asporogenous rods, the rods which do not produce spore structures. And next is mycobacteria and actinomycetes. You know that mycobacteria are the particular type of bacteria having special features, and they do not stain by ordinary gram staining, and they require acid fast staining to observe them. And the next is actinomycetes. They are filamentous bacteria mostly found in the soil, and they are involved in the production of antibiotics to a greater extent. And the last point is extremophilic organisms. Extremophilic microorganisms are found in the place on earth where there is unusual or unfavorable condition to the maximum amount. For example, maximum temperature, maximum pressure, maximum pH, and so on. This is the set of reference books 8: Prescott, Atlas, Modi, Pelzar, Tortora, Steiner, Saleh, and Frobisher. Unit 3: Eukaryotic diversity. Here we can see a structure of animal cell which is having different membrane bound organelles. In the center there is well developed membrane bound nucleus. Then it is having nucleoplasm, nuclear pore, nucleolus is there. Then organelles are there like mitochondria, Golgi apparatus, secretory vesicles, peroxisome, centrosome, centriole, lysosome, ribosomes, and endoplasmic reticulum. These are different organisms called protista. They are included in eukaryotes. They may be fungi, protozoa, and algae. So, eukaryotic diversity is divided into three categories as we have already known. So, fungi, it is having components like general characteristics. their definition, occurrence, structure, and reproduction, classification and introduction to major divisions of fungi, and economic importance of fungi. We know that fungi are a chlorophyllous heterotrophic organisms which are having filamentous structure, and they are involved in the utilization of organic as well as inorganic compounds, and they are useful as well as harmful to the environment. Next is algae. General characteristics of algae, the definition, occurrence, ultrastructure and reproduction, and economic importance of algae. We know that algae are photosynthetic organisms which are chlorophyllous. They have chlorophyll or chloroplast, and they carry out photosynthesis and produce their food by their own. They are classified on the basis of their various pigments, and they are found in the place where moisture is in more amount. And the last is protozoa. It is also having two components: general characteristics, definition, occurrence, ultrastructure and reproduction. Protozoa are eukaryotic cells which look like more animal and less plant. Then economic importance of protozoa. Protozoa are divided on the basis of various criteria into different categories. Protozoa are the organisms which are always unicellular eukaryote. They have special features like cyst formation, and they are having a special type of nuclei. They may have one or more than one nucleus, and their reproduction is also very much complex. This is the set of reference books they have: Prescott, Atlas, Modi, Pelzar, Dubé, and Pawar and Daginawala. The next unit 4 is eukaryotic diversity, which include animal virus, plant virus, and bacterial virus. So the components are like introduction and general characteristics of viruses, definition, structure and classification. Then next is cultivation and enumeration of virus, how to grow viruses and how to count the number of viruses. Then bacterial viruses, classification, lytic life cycle, lysogenic life cycle. So viruses which infect bacteria are called bacterial viruses, or they are called by another name bacteriophages. They have two different type of life cycles, lytic and lysogenic. In case of lytic, they reproduce and come out of the cell, whereas lysogenic life cycle involves the inactive viral particle remain inside the bacterial cell for indefinite time period without any replication process. Next is introduction to animal viruses, classification, replication, cytocidal effects, viruses and cancer and prions. Animal viruses are the viruses which infect animals and produce infection and then after disease also. They are classified on the basis of their morphological characteristics and also on the basis of their host specificity. Then replication, how they multiply. Cytocidal effects, that effects in the cell and in the organelle because of the growth of virus, that is called cytocidal effect. Viruses are also related with the certain kind of cancers. And prions, they are much smaller than the size of the viruses. They are just the very small particles able to carry out infection or certain degenerative diseases. And the last is introduction to plant viruses, classification, structure and replication of TMV, economic importance and viruses. Plant viruses, they are the viruses which infect plant. They are classified on the basis of their morphology, their structure and replication, especially example is taken of tobacco mosaic virus. The economic importance of plant viruses, how they affect the agricultural crop and lead to loss of economic outcomes. And viruids, they are just the a segment of the nucleic acid which is able to infect the plants. This is the set of reference books 5, Prescott, Atlas, Money, Pelzar and Harmeet Kaur. Unit 5 is about environmental microbiology, which includes so many components. The very first is biodegradation and bioremediation. Biodegradation is the process in which microorganisms carry out degradation of various organic and inorganic compounds. Whereas bioremediation is the process in which microorganisms are utilized for degradation of recalcitrant compounds or poisonous compounds or toxic materials. Next is biomagnification of pesticides. Biomagnification is the process in which there is increasing amount of pesticides as you go higher and higher in the food chain. Biodeterioration of paper, textile, paints, woods and metals and its control. There are so many different microbes which can destroy papers, clothes, paints, woods and metals because of their growth and their activity to carry out conversion and transformation of the substrate they utilize. Then microbial air pollution and air sanitization. Air pollution and air sanitization. There are certain microorganisms which pollute the air, and how air can be sanitized is to be seen in this particular subpoint. The next is bioleaching of metals and microbial enhanced oil recovery. Bioleaching of metal is the recovery of metals in at the place of the particular mine or also from the ore. With the help of microorganisms, the pure form of metals are obtained. Microbial enhanced oil recovery is the process which is found in the depleted oil wells where there is less amount of oil and cannot be recovered otherwise, is recovered by using microorganisms. Biofuels. They are the fuels which are produced by microorganisms and then after it is utilized as fuel. And last is bioplastics. Bioplastics are the plastics which are made from the polymers which are produced by microorganisms. This is the set of reference books. They have 5: Mayer, Atlas, Smith, Pelzar and Purohit. So this is an overview of paper number 301.
So this was an overview of paper number 301. It contains 5 units as you've seen. They are quite interesting to study and each unit contains some new fundamental concepts. Unit number 1 and 3 will be taken by me. Unit 4 and 5 will be taken by Valentina madam. Unit 2 will be taken by Shuhi madam. In the next coming session, we shall meet to discuss something more about Unit 3A, that is fungi. Till then, stay happy and God bless you.